What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scent Bubble, and today we are going to talk about Freshies. What is a Freshie? What are some things to think about when you're using one? What are some of the Freshies that I go to? What are some of the things out there? And just all things considering how you can step up your Freshie game or add it to your arsenal if it's not in your fragrance collection currently. And I just want to do a brief kind of my perspective overview of the topic, and I hope that it helps you on your fragrance journey. Now, when we think about a freshie, a freshie is a fragrance. There's certain characteristics that come with it. Okay, we've got light. Sometimes I've even heard of them as being sparkly, but definitely light and crisp. They can be clean and they can be bright. Now, the way that perfumers accomplish this in the fragrance is by adding different elements. A lot of times you might see fruits. Fruits are normally added to add clean, crisp, light, bright. All of those can be accomplished through fruits. Um, Greenery, so the freshness from various plants and even herbs. But yeah, specifically green plants can be used to kind of provide some zestiness, some freshness, and those type of characteristics that just make a freshie something that's very easy to wear, light, crisp, and even interesting, honestly, because when you combine the chemistry of the different assortment of ingredients you put together, it can definitely provide for not just light, clean, airy, crisp, but also like allure and draw and interest and intrigue. But generally speaking, when you wear a freshie, the closest association people have with it is that it's something that you would wear out of the shower. I would also argue that it's a multi-occasion casual use, just something that just isn't very offensive, but a great scent by most people, and just has versatility in terms of it makes sense on many occasions of casual nature. Another way that it's accomplished in terms of the freshie is aquatics. So fruits, greenery, and aquatics are ingredients from those categories are all used in isolation or in chemistry with one another to accomplish that bright, zesty, airy, crisp, clean scent, which we refer to as a freshie. I've got a couple notes here. Again, use cases, we're talking about everyday activities such as the shower, the gym, running errands, eating out, hanging out with your friends. Sometimes work, depending on the type of work that you do. A freshie is a nice, inoffensive way to both feel good about yourself, to um, to know that you're smelling good while you're at work, and you're not you're a lot of people aren't trying to turn heads at work. Now we know that there is the occasion for it if there's someone that you like, or you want to come across with a sense of prowess or be on your boss level, or you know what I'm saying, like there's certain specific intents in the workplace, but generally speaking, I think freshies, depending on the type of work you do, if it's not suit and tie, are generally going to be your go-to grabs, unless you're in the corporate world, unless you're suiting up, or unless you have somebody you're interested in the workplace. You're not really going for that kind of CEO smell, or that kind of romanticness that you might throw on. But again, I think those are kind of not only circumstantial, but in most cases, not what people are doing. I think a freshie is most fitting for the workplace in most cases, because most people aren't in the office like that. What else? Where are you? I think a good question to ask is, where are you at in your collection? Do you have one freshie? Do you have multiple options that you can use? Are you the type of person that likes to just spend a lot of money on one scent and have it be multi-use, and you're the type of guy that says, look, I just want a great scent that I know smells incredible and that maybe not a lot of people have, and I want to use that for everything. Um, and some people might think that's not very fitting because you get less fragrances, but you got to remember, guys, most of you coming up in the fragrance space, I know me when I was younger, you didn't have access to clones and dupes and even cheapies. Like the cheapies selection was very limited. And then, in terms of the freshies and stuff like that, you just had you didn't really have a lot of options. And so coming up for me, I only had 2, 3 cents in the Freshies category, and those carried me for 5, 10 years, to be honest. It wasn't until I got into my late 20s that I started exploring um, different tiers of quality and even having access to multiple houses for an affordable price. So yeah, just trying to figure out like where you are in your fragrance journey with Freshies. Do I want one Freshie that's a cheapie, just something to kind of get by? Do I want one really expensive fragrance that's going to be versatile, or do I want a few different options? And determining that'll kind of help you in terms of selecting your Freshie. Um, you know, I I'm trying to think here if I should just go into my collection. Um, but yeah, so let's go into cheap name brands for a second. Here are some cheap name brands that you can buy right now at your local discounters and retail stores that I think are good entry levels to Freshies. They're not the end all be all, but I'd like to show you what's in my collection as I kind of help you navigate. One of the most go to Freshies of all time, and you will see tons of bottles of this in all of your discounters, is Nautica Voyage. And this is a light crisp scent because I believe it's the apple in here that really, the green apple perhaps in aquatics. Let me actually pull that up real quick. Um, Nautica Voyage. Let's do Fragrantica. Yeah, so they accomplished this with greenery and fruit. Specifically on the top, we've got green leaves, apple, sitting on top of woods and amber and musk. But you definitely smell that crisp green apple. And this is just such an easy scent to wear. $20, 100 ml, I believe. Might even be more. Nope, 100 ml. You can get this for 10, $20 these days. And there's no shortage of it. Very successful Freshie that is a great entry level into your Freshie game. You'll find this to be something you can wear on multiple occasions, and it's just popular. If you're trying to be unique, this definitely isn't the wave. But again, if you're in entry level fragrances, you're just touching the surface of trying to be unique, and you'll probably be unique in most of your circles. Try to think to yourself about this: how many people in your circle do you know that wear fragrance? We're not talking shower gel. We're not talking body spray and body mist. How many people you know when you smell them, you can smell cologne? I know for me personally, I know a lot of people. And coming up in this space, I would say 20, 30% of my friends even had perfumery on. Again, this is when I was younger and in college and stuff like that. But most guys I knew growing up would be wearing body sprays and mists and stuff like that. So you step on the game with Nautica Voyage, you're definitely going to be above average. But again, this is a nice cheapy entry level. What else? CK1, unisex, messing with florals. Let me pull up the thing on this. A lot of people are kind of on the fence about this because it's unisex and not a lot of people rock with florals and stuff like that. But I'm a big fan of this out of the shower scent. And listen to this note breakdown. I mean, this just truly all over the place. What I smell is mostly like white florals, somewhat powdery. And that's where it kind of stays for me as a linear scent. But, you know, going to the note breakdown here: lemon, green, bergamot, orange, pineapple, cardamom, papaya, mid, lily, jasmine, violet, rose, nutmeg, orris root, freesia. And then in the base, green accord, musk, cedar, sandalwood, oak moss, green tea, amber. Like 30 notes in here. Again, what I smell is light, crisp, white florals with a little bit of powder. But I like that coming out of the shower, just feeling like you took a shower and stepped out of the cleanest orchard. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women are definitely drawn to this fragrance. But I just like it as a Freshie. Definitely a go-to cheapie that you can get for $20, $30, 100 ml. Sometimes even, I want to say like 200. They got a big OG bottle of this that I think you can get for like $30, $40. Discounters and online, awesome topic, or awesome option. Next, this one I just got put onto recently. Calvin Klein's CK Everyone. Super versatile scent. Light, crisp, almost like linen with a touch of maybe some fruits or florals. Very light, easy to wear everywhere type of scent. Again, $30. Like a 75 ml. Another fragrance I have in my collection. Calvin Klein's Defy, a nice little vetiver scent, nice, crisp, clean, somewhat green scent, maybe sitting on some woods. These are amazing fragrances, guys. If you're just getting into the game, these are like just amazing tools to have in your arsenal that just kind of showcase crisp fruits, florals, greenery, and sometimes woods. I don't think a fragrance can really get away with not sitting on a base note of some type of woods, but either way, speaking of woods, we've got Woody Oud, which is a clone of Tom Ford's Oud Wood, and to me, this is one of one. Yeah, Oud Wood might smell a little bit more dense, just a tad though. Like in the air, you ain't noticing that to the common person. This almost smells to me like minerals. You know, I've smelt a lot of oud fragrances. I don't really smell oud in this at all. But you know, just to be fair, I'm not super trained in the oud category. However, I do have a lot of oud fragrances. In terms of raw oud, I'm not real. I know it's on a spectrum in terms of how it's harvested, but you know, oud wood, nice go-to for that airy, crisp, clean. This, as opposed to a lot of scents, has more of like minerals vibe. Like just picture like the cleanest raw minerals and stones, holding them in your hand and feeling the crispest water rush through your hands, and you get a waft of these minerals with like a touch of sweetness maybe. Nice freshy. This sometimes I think can be pulled off a little more formal. But again, I think this is a good layer fragrance. It's nice to be on the base and then put something on top of it to kind of take it in a more directional approach. But as a standalone fragrance, I think this is just a super versatile, what I would refer to as a freshie. Couple more real quick, and then we'll finish up with some final thoughts. Encre Noir Sport. I know I gave this fragrance a lot of hate in one of my prior videos in terms of it just being linear, but I love vetiver. You know, personally, even though this is one of the most commercial scents out of the Encre Noir line in terms of Encre Noir OG and a la Extreme, even though the sport was made to be more commercial and more sporty and light, even though sport doesn't really accurately describe it, it is a light, crisp fragrance to the best of its ability, but still has somewhat of a dark tonality to the vetiver. However, if you want something a little more OG, a little more age on it, a little more marinade to a freshie, it's almost like a freshie with a little bit of either class or just nuance of um, age and wisdom, for lack of better words. Encre Noir Sport. You have to be a vetiver lover to really rock with this. So definitely get your nose on some vetiver in terms of like essential oils and I know for me, we got a store called not Whole Foods, Sprouts, where they have a lot of essential oils and stuff, and you can just kind of smell an oil of vetiver and just kind of get your nose around it. Though it can come off soapy, it can also come off very dark and earthy. I would say this is more on the dark, earthy vibe. But again, I think they utilize fruits and woods to kind of step this up and make it more light and crisp and soapy. Not soapy in the sense of Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver type vibes, but this is almost like Gray Vetiver, slightly darker, little less soapy, more green. Because vetiver is, I believe, a tall grass and people harvest it at the root level. But certainly a great fragrance if you like vetiver. Wrapping up here, we're talking about Green Irish Tweed Clone Très Nuit. This is just a staple go-to scent, guys. If you're somebody who's new to the freshies and you want that kind of lemon zest, a little bit of greens on top of it. Again, it's a clone of Green Irish Tweed. Let me just see if Très Nuit's on Fragrantica. It's gotta be from Armoff. Yeah, we've got a little bit of violet powder in here and lavender. I do smell a little bit of that, but this is very lemon driven. With a subtle nuance of this lavender violet iris combo sitting on sandalwood. But again, lemon accord on some florals. Nice entry level scent. People say this is like a 9 out of 10 to Green Irish Tweed from Creed. And my newest one recently, inspired by Sedley, is Mahir Legacy, which has this lime accord where it almost smells like a mojito thrown on top of some greens and some woods. but it's just got a very fresh, clean. It's almost like picture fresh water pouring onto silver, um, but also, it runs. You poured water on top of this silver metal, and you kind of smell that somewhat metallic, but then that just runs through, and then you take a giant sip of a mojito, and it's just got this like sweet lime zesty kind of feel to it. Super good freshie. Those are some of the freshies in my collection. Again, I think for all of these I paid between $20 and $40 for all of these, and these are all amazing entries into the freshie space. I would even argue that some of these can even compete. As you can see, some of them are inspired by $200 and $300 fragrances. But certainly, you want to have a freshie in your collection. You want to have something that's just a no-brainer. I'm going to grab this. I don't want to be offensive. I want to smell fresh and clean. I want to get a little more upscale, but I don't want it to be all this complexity. There's not a formal occasion. There's not a serious occasion. Grab and go fragrances that you can just pump up the sprays and go out and feel good about yourself and feel comfortable. And I think when you're first starting out, really kind of exploring the sides of it. Do you like light, sparkly, clean, bright? Do you lean towards something? Do you like aquatics more, greenery more, fruits more? And then what's your occasion? Are you going to the shower, the gym, running errands, eating out? Again, because these are versatile, you can rock them in any occasion. But I think in terms of like figuring out for yourself whether you like aquatic dominant, fruit dominant, or green dominant fragrances, starting with the cheapies is going to be a very good way to kind of step into a few different DNAs. Expensive freshies that come to my mind real quick, just off the top of the head: Silver Mountain Water, Wulong Cha, La Corday, Elysium. These are some of the more expensive fragrances out there. You know, your $100, $200, $300 fragrances that are still freshies, but kind of have a ramped upness to the complexity of the scent when you smell it. It might be linear still, but in terms of the quality of the raw ingredients, adds for a different depth of flavor in the scent profile. What's the other one? GIT. What is this? Um, Green Irish Tweed. Okay, yeah. So Green Irish Tweed, Silver Mountain Water, Elysium, fragrances like that. Just because you have a freshie doesn't mean you have to go cheap. You can go sophisticated, classy, or complex, or even unique in terms of a freshie. But I think starting out, you don't really know what you're going to enjoy. Why waste $100, $200, $300 on blind buying fragrance? Or why would you even just try one fragrance, fall in love with it, and cop it without kind of seeing what else is out there? I think today fragrances are more accessible than they've ever been. And so it just makes more sense in my eyes to kind of explore fragrance. Again, cheap does not mean, or inexpensive does not mean cheap in terms of quality of fragrances. Time plays into it, ingredients plays into it, interest level of the public plays into it. And at the end of the day, a lot of these people have done a great job. Everything I've showed you today smells fantastic, and I actually rock this stuff frequently. Overall, I think a freshie personally should be crisp, light, easy to enjoy, and something you can see yourself wearing in most daily activities because it's inoffensive, but it's still interesting and provides a freshness and a confidence to your swag in your daily activities that makes you feel good and most importantly smell good. Guys, let me know what freshies you have in the comments below. If you're entry level into the fragrance world, maybe I can point you in a direction. Maybe you just want to chime in and say, if you want to give me some constructive criticism, hey, maybe I was wrong about something. Or guys, it's all about perspective, man. I'm no fragrance professional. I'm just a guy that loves fragrance on a journey, wanting to share my love of fragrance with you so that you can make great decisions and be super informed about the things that are available to you. Because for me, fragrances definitely enhances my day. And so whether I'm just chilling here, wafting myself like an idiot, or going outside and being pleasing to the nose of many people I interact with, and even having a lot of conversation starters. Again, I forget who the YouTuber is, but he said that fragrances are a bottle of opportunity. And so they can present many opportunities to you. The question is, how do you want to use fragrance to be an extension of your own self-expression, or to accomplish a certain goal that you might have out in the workplace, out in your environment, in terms of doing the things that you love to do. Anyways, guys, sound off in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching as usual, and appreciate y'all for rocking with me in the scent bubble.